Hello, how are you? This is the fourth installment of this, I believe, and it's been a long time, 8 months or so. So I'm going to answer a series of questions, many of which probably don't apply anymore. But you live, you learn, as Alanis Morissette once said. Or she probably said it a lot of times, actually. Dominic Sherwood said, I started a YouTube channel like 3 weeks ago. Tips? Well, they say that starting a YouTube channel nowadays is much different than it was when I started. And it is different. There are a lot more people doing it. So, I mean, it seems like in theory it'll be harder to stand out. On the other hand, I'm coming across successful channels every day that I've never heard of. It seems like there's more opportunity. There's still plenty of people around who want to watch things, and people get sick of the things they're watching and they want something new all the time. So I say go for it. I think there's potential here to succeed. It's going to be very hard. It took me 3 years of making videos to nobody before anything happened, and basically what I did was just a lot of things. I was consistent with my personality because I just am who I am, and I uploaded things all the time for a while. Eventually, and posted comments and made myself known in places, but it didn't really work too much until eventually someone came across my videos. There was a website called YouTube Reviewed that reviewed YouTube videos. It doesn't exist anymore. But I posted a comment on there, and they found me, and they tweeted about me. They wrote an article about me. Other YouTubers saw me and tweeted about me, and then it just slowly grew from there. I never had a viral hit or anything. And it's just based on my personality and collaborating with people and slow growth. So expect that it's going to take a while. Expect that it's not going to work right away. Although, like, it seems like lately what works a lot is something specific, something like, you know, there are people that just do videos about fixing cars. There are people that just do woodworking videos, people that just do exercise videos. They have a specific topic. My parents were just watching a dog grooming channel that it's specifically King Charles Cavalier dogs, because they have a King Charles Cavalier, and that person seems to be doing pretty well. I don't know if it's enough to go full time or not, but it seems like niches, however you want to pronounce it, seem to work well. What seems to work less well is what I do, which is just personality-based humor. That's non-specific, and often in the videos they're about several things at once. What seems to work better is more specificity. So if you are, good at something, you have a certain talent or a certain skill or knowledge, or you just are interested in something, like you're interested in a certain aspect of the news or whatever, I would say find something specific and try that, at least at first. And don't expect it to work for a while. You're going to have to grind. You're going to have to enjoy the process. Okay. Flynn Zook says, I keep falling down spirals of thought that end up putting me in a really bad place mentally. I can't stop my mind from yelling at me every time I go to ask for help from someone. Do you have any advice for pulling yourself out of a spiral of not comparing yourself to other people constantly? This is tough, but I mean, I guess I assume this happens to everyone. It's happened to me. You fall down spirals of thought. You compare yourself to others. I guess this is going to sound dumb, I guess, but one thing I've discovered recently is often it's in the evenings when I would feel mentally drained and negative, go into a negative place. And it happens more in the evening. It happens more when I'm not working on anything or got nothing to do, or I'm trying to think of what to do. And I find that it often is just I'm tired. I need sleep. I don't sleep enough. when I wake up in the morning after having a night's sleep, I feel refreshed. I feel better, and I'm more positive. And I don't know if that's the case for you, but that's really the case for me. Just get more sleep. That's a really simple solution, and that's probably not going to fix everything. It's other than that, I don't know. It takes time. You're gonna have to start identifying and countering those thoughts you get. When you get a thought, it's so easy to just fall into a rut and just swim with your thoughts and take them wherever they go. But you have to identify certain thoughts that come to your mind every time they do. Start identifying those negative thoughts that set you down that path. When a thought crops up, you need to tell yourself, oh, that's one of those thoughts again. I better not pay attention to that. Of course, that's not going to work every time, but starting to identify that might be the beginning of countering that. Maybe you already have, because this is 8 months ago, or so, 7 months ago. Nightwolf Music says, all right, I've been falling into a cycle lately of being extremely lazy. I find I often stress snap whenever I need to get things done. I'm an expert procrastinator, and while it's not affecting my grades a ton, it's affected my general feeling lately. Essentially, what's the best way to stop being lazy? Well, I guess maybe ask yourself, like, what is lazy? Like, are you actually being lazy? Are you actually doing things? Start paying attention to things you're actually doing. Because sometimes I think I'm lazy, or I think I didn't do a lot, and then I list off everything that I did that day, and it turns out there was a bunch of things that I did. Or if you think back and you're like, oh, I just watched TV all day, figure out a way to use what you did. Like if you watched, you sat around and you watched movies, go blog about those movies, write reviews about those movies. At least turn what you did into something productive, or post something online about them. I don't know if that's really productive, but at least it'll get the ball rolling, depending on what you want to do. Maybe, again, more sleep. Maybe you say that you need a stress nap. People need a lot of sleep. They need more sleep than they get most of the time. Don't feel bad if you need a nap. I just respond to what I feel lately. Like if I'm tired, not lately because we have a baby and I can't really nap often. But in the past, when I was tired, go to sleep, go take a nap. I have just forget the shame, forget the embarrassment of needing a nap. Who cares? Just go take a nap if you're tired. You're tired. Do it. Procrastinating, very common. I'm always been someone who kind of just gets things done last minute. I feel like a lot of people are that way, and I don't think there's any problem with that either. There's good arguments to be made that about certain things, it doesn't matter how much time you put into it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be better. It depends on what you're doing, I guess. But that's the best advice I got for you right now. Virgil Lewis says, hey, Craig, I'm a freshman in high school, and a lot of my friends have boyfriends or girlfriends. I know I shouldn't be worried about it, but what I'm really worried about is the fact that ever since they got girlfriends, they've stopped talking to me. Again, I know I shouldn't be worried about it, but I'm an extrovert, and it's hard for me to handle being by myself. How do I cope with being by myself a lot? There's a lot of things you can do these days by yourself. There's books. There's social media. There's all sorts of things on the internet. Entertainment from all places at all times. That might not help you overcome, not being able to hang out with friends and stuff. Oh, man. You say you're a freshman in high school. Well, now I don't know what you are in high school. These things, high school, looking back, a lot of things didn't last long. A lot of things change quickly in high school. And so again, it's time. It takes time. Read. Get good at something. Read a book. Read several books. I think back to my high school days and my 20s and now. I don't read enough. I don't read enough books. I look back. I'm like, I should read that. I should read that. I should read that. I want to be more knowledgeable about certain things. I think reading a lot of books, it changes your perspective on things, and it gives you knowledge that is helpful in intangible ways. So I'm going off on this whole book reading tangent, but really, I don't know what else you can do. You can try to make new friends, but and that might help, but that's hard. In the meantime, grab a book. There's plenty of entertainment, and there's no reason to feel bad that you're not hanging out with other people. Sometimes other people suck. John Matthews, I'm feeling completely empty and void of all joy. All that's left, I picked some tough ones. All that's left is my anxiety and love for someone who I feel like doesn't love me back. Can I get some encouragement to get help from a doctor? Well, yes, you should. There should be no shame in getting help from a doctor. I don't see why not, except for money, I suppose. But, worry about that later. I think your mental health will thank you for it. Well, your mental health should not thank you, because your mental health should not be able to talk. If so, then you're not mentally healthy. Someone you love doesn't love you back. That's it sounds like you have what they call one-itis. I used to get that a lot, where you want someone who you are obsessing over, that is the only person for you. It's not true. It's just not true. There really are plenty of fish in the sea. And especially now, I don't know how old you are. Nowadays, you can use dating apps and find people. I've never done it because I was in a serious relationship by the time that stuff started coming around. But I think right now you might feel, maybe it's all resolved now, but you might feel like this person is the person you love and the only person for you. If they don't love you back, you're gonna have to move on. Don't try to change them. That's usually a road for disaster, even if you do convince them to get together with you, because they might not really be fully in it. But sometimes that can happen, and it can work out, and you could be happily ever after, just in case you ended up getting together with them. But no, it can. But if not, you're going to have to find someone else, and maybe you won't. It'll seem like you don't like anyone else, but people are complex, and it takes time to get to know them. And so you're just going to have to give that time. Time, again. Also get some sleep. That's going to be my advice for every single one. Clay person. Craig, Nietzsche or whatever, said, when you stare into the abyss stares into you. What do you think that means? Now, I have not read a lot of Nietzsche. I'm going to keep saying it both ways because I don't know the proper way to say. You know what? Let's look it up.
Nietzsche.
Okay. Nietzsche. So, staring into the abyss, it stares back at you. Okay, I've never read any Nietzsche. But I am aware of many of his arguments about nihilism and whatnot. But staring into the abyss, I assume what he means is if you contemplate existence and the meaninglessness of it, how there's really no true meaning to life that we've ever proven to exist. The abyss stares back at you, meaning you will feel empty. You will feel meaningless. That's just my interpretation. And I don't want to go into religion and what people believe is the meaning of life. But regardless of that, I feel like when you feel empty, when you feel like an abyss, that's a problem, because hard to motivate yourself if you feel empty. I think to counter that, you have to make your own meaning. I think that's what we always do as humans. And I think that's what creativity is all about. And I think we can make our own meaning, and that makes us awesome. So, I'm going off to college soon, doing community college right now, and I'm worried about paying for it. I'm excited about pursuing my passion, marine ecology, but paying scares me. I don't want to adult. Tips? Paying for college, yes. Well, here's the thing. Almost everyone is in debt after college or during college. It's just part of the process, and stay in debt for years after. And that might just be something you have to live with. You could do some side hustles, try to, I don't know, blog about your experience, sell something online, try to raise some money in certain ways, but it's going to be hard. But here's the thing. I would worry more about just finding your passion and pursuing it. That's, I think, the hardest, most crucial thing you should and can do. If it's something you know that you want and you can do it, you're already winning, even if you go in debt. I think, and also, I don't even know what happens when you go in debt. Like if you keep going in debt, if you just keep compiling debt and you can never pay it back, I don't know what happens. I've asked people. I've had this has come up in conversations recently with me, and I'm like, what happens when you go super far in debt and you can't pay it, and you just keep getting more and more in debt? No one really has a good answer. I bet some of you probably know. We've done research on it, and I'm sure there is a process and things that happen, but it seems like you have to go pretty far in debt before your world's going to come crashing down and you're on the streets. I think you can live with debt. You can live with a lot of debt in the U.S. anyways. I don't know where you live, but I'd say go for it. You're going to be fine with some debt. How do you decide? But try to pay it off as best you can. How do you decide what to eat for lunch? Maggie D says. See this question. Now we're into the tough questions. Whatever's in the refrigerator. Okay. Tara. Hi, Craig. To be honest, I'm feeling a bit lost and tired. Could you please give advice on dealing with constant self-hate? And could you share your mental self-care tips? Any tips in this regard are very welcome. Self-hate. Here's what people go through it all the time. It's very hard. Sometimes the previous commenter was spiraling. It spirals, and you get into cycles. And I guess a way to combat that is you have to bust your cycle. If you wake up a certain time, try waking up ridiculously early. Try waking up ridiculously late. Try to get more sleep, except on the days where you're waking up ridiculously early. Try going a different route to work or school. Try eating new foods, weird foods, watching new shows, reading weird books. Try to bust that cycle. But also, here's what you do. Now, picture me when you do this. Go into the bathroom and look in the mirror, and picture me saying this to motivate you to start saying it. Look at yourself in the mirror, unblinking, wide-eyed, eyebrows up. I'm f***ing awesome. Say that. Really loud if no one is around. And yeah, that's the best advice I can give you. Rhea says, hi Craig, after watching you play Zelda, I realize I kind of want to get into gaming, or at least try it out, dip toes into the water, but I really don't know anything. Consoles, gaming, games, anything. Any recommendations about where to start, what to buy, what to play as a complete beginner? Well, if you haven't tried already, because that was 7 months ago, there's really no wrong way to go about it. You gotta find, there's good games on all consoles. I love the Nintendo Switch. It's mobile, which is really nice, and that Zelda Breath of the Wild's on it, and you enjoyed me watching that, so it makes sense to buy the Switch and play Zelda, because it's awesome, although it's pretty challenging if you've never played any video games ever. PlayStation 4, I have that, and a Xbox 360, which is the older Xbox One. Is that the most current one? I'm not sure. But PlayStation and Xbox can kind of have similar games on them, and maybe a little. You could probably find something easier than Zelda Breath of the Wild on one of those. or on maybe start with like a simple like old school Atari game like Pac-Man or something on one of those consoles. Buy like an old school one from the online store and get used to playing video games that way, and then like gradually work your way up to something more difficult. Go on to video game review sites like IGN is one that I go to a bunch. Read about games and read about what they are and what's highly rated and what you think you'd like. Find one of those games and find the console that it's on and buy it. I think the PlayStation 4 is nice because it's you can use it for entertainment as well. You can use it we watch Netflix and Hulu and stuff on it. So PlayStation 4 is pretty good. Nintendo Switch is pretty darn good. Although they seem to be having trouble making new games lately. I don't know. Good luck. I'm not actually a huge gamer. Anyways, I'm probably not a great person to ask. A long one. Hi, Craig. I've been interested in starting to run on a regular basis, but my issue is that I can't afford a treadmill, and every time I go outside with the intention of running, I get really self-conscious and just end up walking for a while and then going back inside before I've reached any sort of distance goal because I get frustrated and discouraged. I also get really anxious going to the gym fitness center. Obviously, walking some is better than nothing, but I've been inspired by your efforts, and now they're being polite, being nice to me. We don't need to read that. How to move past this. So you're self-conscious. You want to run, but you're self-conscious. You want to go to the gym, but you're self-conscious. It sounds like that's the problem. I really think you should just not worry about what other people think. I just say that, but that's not going to help you, I guess. It really though, it's like, again, look directly in a mirror like this and say, "F*** 'em," like that, and then get out there and go. Most people don't care what other people are doing. Most people they're just thinking about themselves. I think there should be no shame in exercising and running. If you feel like people are making fun of you or are going to, and if they do, which I don't think they will, but if they do, I think it says more about them. They're probably feel insecure about themselves not exercising. You're the one exercising. You're working to better yourself. I don't know what else to say, but you have to go for it. You just have to get out there and do it. Who cares? Most people aren't going to pay attention to you. Most people don't care. I think about when you walk down the street. When I walk down the street, if someone runs past me, I pay them no thought. I'm usually wrapped up in my own crazy thoughts. Yeah, I guess that's the best advice I can give. I want to move out to California. How did you up and go when you left Chicago? It just seems draining. And what if it doesn't work out? Well, if it doesn't work out, here's what you do. You move back. So you lost a year or two or whatever. Fine. You got plenty of life left. Move back. Or move somewhere else. Try things. How are you going to know if you don't try? It's not a big deal if it doesn't work out. I mean, you might lose some money out of it. But again, who knows what happens? How much debt can you go into before it all comes crashing down? I don't know. Seems like a lot in this country. How did we up and go? We it kind of helped that our friends we're getting older, and our friends are we were all kind of separating. Like our drummer in Driftless Pony Club, our band moved to Minneapolis a while ago. Friends moving like further outskirts of Chicago, and I don't know. It was more exciting than it was hard, and there was also the expectation that it wasn't going to be permanent. We knew that we were going to come back or move somewhere else. I would say go for it. You got to at least try see what it's like without winter. I don't know if you live in Chicago. You want to move out to California. I don't know where you live. If you live somewhere with winter, it's pretty nice to not have winter for a while. Give it a try. Move back if it doesn't work. I think it'll be okay. That's all for today. I will try to put up one of these sooner than 8 months from now. And how are you? Anything I can help with?